What's up, collectors? Welcome back to Films by Color and to another episode of This Week in Physical Media, where we go over every single Blu-ray and 4K release that's dropping this week. All of these titles will be coming out tomorrow, Tuesday, the 12th. We're already at the second week of March, so these are coming out March 12th on Tuesday. We shoot this show every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we shoot it live so I can talk with all of you guys as we go through this. This is not a me talking at you show. This is a me talking with you show with the community here on Films by Color, and we go through all the releases, and you guys share your insights with me. I share what little insights I have with you, and it's a good time, and it's always a fun night. So thank you guys, all of you, so much who always tune in live for these. I got some regulars that always pop in, and we see some new faces pretty much every week. We've got some new guys, or some guys who come back, jump in here and there. So it's been great. It's been great talking to you guys, and we're going to go through all the releases. So like I said, these are coming out tomorrow on Tuesday, like we always do. We do shoot this on Monday night, so if you want to come out and join us, feel free to do that. But if you cannot join us, you can always watch the recording afterwards. I leave the recording on YouTube, and I've been getting a lot of comments lately about the recording on YouTube, and people thanking me for leaving that because they either can't watch because they have to get up early for work, or because some people are even in other countries watching this show, which thank you so much. I can't believe people are doing that. But some people messaged me this week from like UK. Apparently it's like 2 a.m. there, so they can't stay up. They were staying up for a little bit, but they couldn't watch the whole show, and they caught the recording afterwards. So thanks so much. If you do watch those, leave a comment. Let me know who's watching, because I always like to talk to you guys down there. Let's see who's here in the live show right now. Let me pull up the live chat. Kyle Hartman is the first name I see. We've got, he says, good evening, he's telling us what he's getting. Getting Poor Things, The Abyss, Aquaman 2, Aliens, and True Lies. All of those on 4K, except Poor Things, which we'll talk about in a minute, unfortunately. Jar Jar Ed is very excited about The Running Man, which, yeah, I put that in the thumbnail. Internet User says, hello, everyone. Henry Bidenkamp is here. Ethan Edwards is here. Big Al 1982 is here. Ethan Edwards says, where is everyone? I don't know. There's some people trickling in. They're trickling in. I didn't get the show up till just like 30 minutes ago. Usually I get it up early in the morning, but I was way too busy today to get a thumbnail made and stuff. So I didn't get it up till just 30 minutes before. So I hope we don't have a small crowd tonight. I hope people see it. Hopefully YouTube shows notifications. It's like it's crapshoot whether YouTube's gonna let people know or not, but we'll see. We'll see who shows up. Michael Smith is here. Jeffrey Patron is here. Jason X350Z says hello from London. There we go. We've got one of our guys over there from across the pond. Thanks for joining, man. Luke says also from London. Hello. Good to see you, Luke. Sam Fett is here. Man, a lot of people from over in the UK. Is London part of the UK? I don't even know. Kevin House, glad I actually checked to see if you were starting at 9 p.m. What to say? You're not to be said 10 p.m. Notification, maybe? I don't know. Like I said, YouTube is not reliable, so we always do it at 9 p.m. I don't want to stay up any later than I have to, so we're going to do it at 9 p.m. Enough of this chit chat. Let's go ahead and jump into the releases, and we'll see if some people show up as we go. All right, the first one here, let's switch over to the other monitor, is The Abyss. So someone already mentioned these in the chat. This is the big thing everybody's excited about this week. All the James Cameron 4K upgrades are coming out this week. So we've got The Abyss getting a 4K upgrade from 1989. These are all put out by Disney, and I actually saw these on Disney Movie Club when so I'm thinking about maybe doing another Disney Movie Club haul. I did that one, and I don't know. I don't know if I have the budget for it right now, but there's about 5 or 6 more things on Disney Movie Club that I want to get that still haven't sold out, and I want to do another haul. Just trying to decide if I can go ahead and spend another $150 or something over there. But these were on there as well, and they were super cheap. I think you could get them if you bought something else. These were like marked down. I don't know, was it like $5 or $10? Like they were super cheap for these 4Ks. So they're really trying to get rid of stuff on DMC. But yeah, these are put out by Disney. This is called the Ultimate Collector's Edition. It's got a 4K, a Blu-ray, and a digital 4K. All of the new transfer or the new restoration. It's also got 2 cuts on here for The Abyss. And there's the front. You can see it in the thumbnail. Everybody's already seen this one. There's tons of videos. I think Jeff put a video out today doing a review on these. So there's lots of information on these that you can find there right here on YouTube. And there's what the back looks like. There you go. The Abyss from James Cameron. Right now on Amazon, it's only $28. I saw some people saying, oh, I'll wait till these go down in price. Are they going to go down in price? Like, I feel like the Avatar movie, the first one, has been like $30 forever. I feel like they never discount James Cameron movies. But maybe they do now. Maybe they're not worth as much as they used to be. Or maybe that's just an Avatar thing. But yeah, here we go. We've got another one here, True Lies. We'll just go through all three of these. These are the big three across the top. These are the most popular releases this week. True Lies getting a 4K, exactly the same thing. Ultimate Collector's Edition, 4K, Blu-ray, and digital HD from Disney Buena Vista. And this is the 1994 Arnold Schwarzenegger film. Also starring, what's her name? What is her name? Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis, Oscar winner Jamie Lee Curtis since last year. Pretty nice slips on these. I didn't really talk about it on the first one. Not the banner's not too egregious. It kind of just blends in with the top, so that's fine. And they're very nice slips. I've seen, like I said, I've seen some videos on these. If you like really shiny holographic slips, these look great. So there you go. We've got True Lies coming out as well. I am the last person in the world to be reviewing or talking about James Cameron movies because I have not. I've seen this one, but I'm not a huge action movie fan, especially 80s action movies. So I have not seen most of these, but I have seen Aliens, and this is an interesting cover. There you go. Filmed by James Cameron. Exact same thing again. Don't need to say it again. Ultimate Collector's Edition, 4K Blu-ray and digital. It's also got both cuts on here. And you've got a pretty nice slip. And I'll show you the back of the slip real quick. There it is. 3-disc set. Includes disc 1, which is the 4K. Disc 2, which is the Blu-ray. And then you've got a decent amount of bonus features. Not as much as I would like. But that's all you get these days. Bonus features are not as big as they used to be. It looks like you've only got one doc on disc 3, or one little maybe full doc, maybe featurette on disc 3, and then you've got a couple things on disc 2. So not much, but hopefully the transfers make it worth it. I've heard good and bad things about these restorations. Apparently they look good, but there is some AI upscaling and DNR and all that stuff that drives people nuts that James Cameron keeps doing, but I don't know. What are you gonna do? It's his movie, I guess. This one's even cheaper. This one's only $24.49 right now, available on Amazon. But you'll probably be able to find all of those at your, well, I don't even know. Best Buy's not doing it anymore. Maybe at Walmart or Target you could find those. My Target doesn't have anything these days, especially 4K releases. They must not sell 4Ks because they don't put out any 4Ks. And I don't know. My Walmart is not great either. But hopefully you got a really nice Walmart that maybe has some of those Steelbooks that we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. But those are the big ones, the big three from James Cameron getting 4K releases. But we'll get into a bunch more in just a second. Let's jump over to the chat and see who else is here. Dan's Den has popped in. Jason350Z, The Abyss is canceled in the UK, so I'm going to order from the US. Oh, well, I hope you can get yourself a copy, and I hope it gets over there safe and sound. That's a bummer that they canceled it over there. Dan says, I'm so glad The Abyss is finally getting released on Blu-ray. You and a bunch of other people, sir. Michael says, you know Steelbook is coming in a few months. Oh, interesting. Thank you, Michael. I did not know that. But yeah, so if that's true, I don't know which one he's talking about. Maybe he's talking about one of those three that we just mentioned. Luke says, this week's been a great week to go to the cinema. I saw Dune 2. Amazing, 5 out of 5. And Perfect Days by Wim Wenders, also 5 out of 5. I really want to see Perfect Days. That was one I missed from last year. I didn't get a chance to see hardly any of the international features. I only saw 2 out of 5 this year, which is a bummer, but they just weren't playing around me until like the last minute, and I couldn't get to the theater. I did see Dune though, and it is really great. I talked about that last week a little bit, but I didn't share too many of my thoughts. But I liked it, and I can't believe we're gonna get a third one. Michael Smith, she should have won an Oscar for her dance in True Lies. Yeah, I've heard of that scene. I know about that scene. I'm aware of it, but I haven't seen the whole film. Evil Wax is here. Says he's just joining after dinner. Well, hey. I'm glad. What did you have for dinner, sir? If you don't mind my asking. Big Al says the 4K releases in the UK normally go in a 2 for 25 to 30 after a while in HMV. One of these days I'm going to go to the UK and experience an HMV because I'm really jealous that you guys have stores just devoted to movies like that, and there's a lot of cool HMV exclusives that I see when I'm just surfing around on eBay looking for different titles, movies that we don't get over here. There's a lot of cool stuff over there. So if I ever do go to the UK, I will definitely be hitting a bunch of HMV stores and potentially making videos. Ethan Edwards, True Lies is fun, if nothing else. If nothing else, it is at least fun. Sam Fett, my wife and I finally watched Satan Tango this past Saturday. Wow, it was like no other movie experience ever. I need to watch it again. I'm glad I bought the Blu-ray. Hey, I'm glad you bought the Blu-ray too. I'm glad you liked it, more importantly, because, well, it's not that expensive, so I don't think you'd be too upset with me. But yeah, that's 100%. It's absolutely like no other movie experience. I've never seen anything like it, or I don't think I ever will. Again, Dan's Den says True Lies is another one I've been looking forward to in 4K for a long time. Brian Hadsell, I don't immediately recognize that name. Welcome to the stream. As I kick my camera, with Akira Toriyama's passing, I finally picked up all of Dragon Ball and Z and Super, and I can't wait to finally share those wonderful shows with my 3-year-old son. Yes, I heard about that last week on the other live show that I do on Thursdays on the Geekvolution channel. Someone brought that up, and I am so out of the loop. I didn't grow up with anime, but but it's totally my generation. Like everyone my age usually grew up with that stuff, specifically Dragon Ball. I somehow totally missed it. Never got on the bandwagon, but yeah, I know it's a huge fandom for a lot of people, and that's super sad that he passed away, and so young too. I think he was in his 60s, maybe early 60s. He was super young. That's super sad. Michael Smith says, I said that not knowing for sure, but assuming. Okay, so he's assuming there's a Steelbook, so he's going to hold off for now. Evil Wax finally watched Poor Things a couple nights before the Oscars. What an experience. Loved the visual effects and cinematography. So good, right? I know. I have it on Letterboxd as my favorite of the year. Like I said in my Oscar video, though, like it's kind of a toss-up between that and Anatomy of a Fall. But yeah, I think Poor Things will probably wind up being my favorite. I haven't had a chance to see it again. I've still only seen it the one time. So I need to do that. I think it just dropped on Hulu this week. So if you hadn't seen it, go check it out, guys. Luke says, the first thing I heard someone say after watching Dune 2 was them complaining there wasn't an intermission. Same happened with Flower Moon. It really confuses me. Just go to the toilet before the film. And that might be the first time I said toilet on this show. But no, yeah, I don't think it needs... It was only 2:45. That's not crazy long. I could see maybe for Killers of the Flower Moon, but Dune 2 wasn't too bad. And Dan says Perfect Days is fantastic. A lot of themes dealing with relevancy. I can't wait to check that one out. That one's still on my list. And an internet user also said he saw Perfect Things yesterday morning and highly recommend it. I got to get on that. Let's jump back to the releases because we've only done 3 so far. And the next one looks like a really cool release from Arrow Video. So this is in the thumbnail. You can barely see it, but it's a really nice cover. And I want to show you guys up close here. Look at the slip. Love the artwork on this. This is a John Wayne movie. 2 weeks in a row we've been talking about a John Wayne movie. It's called The Shootist, and it is a Western, as you can clearly see. Which is that? Hold the phone here. Which one is John Wayne? Is that John Wayne? Oh no, there's John Wayne. That's John Wayne. Wow, he's old in this. This is what is this? 70s movie. Okay, so this is late. So this is 1976. A very elderly looking John Wayne. I don't know if the artwork there is just kind of ramping his age up or if he actually is that old in this. He looks, there we go. We can pull up a screenshot right there. Wow, I've never seen John Wayne this old. This is exciting. It's a Don Siegel film, and it's a Western, so that's pretty cool. Pretty much a straightforward drama type Western. It doesn't look to be too much of an action movie, but there's probably some good action scenes in it. Hopefully some shootouts. It's called The Shootist, but that's really cool. I've never heard of that one. I love Arrow and all of their releases. They put out good stuff. They do a lot of special features normally. There he is. I could have just scrolled down. Look at that. He's right there. That's pretty cool. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Is Jimmy Stewart in this as well? What? James Stewart. Oh man. Okay, so James Stewart and John Wayne are both in The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, which is one of my favorite, probably my favorite Western. Not that I've seen too many, but of the ones I've seen, that one is incredible. And hopefully this one is at least, if it's half as good as Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, I definitely got to check this out. You guys will have to let me know if you've seen this one in the chat, but this is surprisingly pretty exciting. I wasn't expecting too much from that one. But I love Arrow, like I said, love their releases. They put out really cool stuff, and they have such a variety of different genres that they dabble in, and I haven't seen too many Westerns from them, so that's exciting. Here it is, Poor Things. We just talked about it in the chat. Thank you guys for segueing me perfectly into these. This is the slipcover. Obviously, a lot of people, I don't know how obvious it is, but in the community, people are very upset that this is not getting a 4K release because, like someone said, it's got beautiful cinematography, beautiful visual effects, and it just won costume design last night at the Oscars. It just won production design. It also won... What was the third one it won? It ran the whole like specialty categories. It did really well, and it was surprising because it beat out Barbie for any of that stuff. And I don't think anyone was expecting it to do as well as it did. So that was surprising. Also, the big surprise was Emma Stone winning for Best Lead Actress last night. So that was really cool. But yeah. This is a great movie. I highly recommend the movie, but the release is just a Blu-ray. I don't know if we'll be getting one down the road. Probably not. I wouldn't hold out for it because Disney put out Banshees last year, and that was also an Oscar nominee, and it still hasn't got a 4K. We're still just with the little Blu-ray, which I just watched 2 nights ago. Grace and I have been watching through a lot of Irish movies this week for St. Patty's Day, and that was fun. Love Banshees. One of our favorite, I think it was my favorite movie from last year, and here we go again, my favorite movie from this year, also not getting a 4K. So, a little bit of a bummer, but hopefully they did a good job on this Blu-ray at least. I'm not going to pick it up. I'll just wait until I can get it secondhand down the line. I don't need it right away. Like I said, it is on Hulu. I'll just watch it on there for now, but I do want to own it eventually. Hopefully some boutique label picks it up and gives us a really nice release. That would be amazing. But if you do want to go ahead and grab it, you didn't get a chance to see it, you don't have Hulu, it is available for $24.96 on Amazon.com right now. And then we'll do a couple more here. Looney Tunes. So these, you guys will have to tell me how these are doing. I haven't picked any of these up yet, but they've been going through and doing the Looney Tunes Collector's Choice Blu-rays, and this is already volume 3. They've already done 2, and it was a red and a blue one. This is the green one. This is volume 3. I'm mixed about these. I love that they're putting these out on Blu-ray. I want to get my hands on these. I like these, and I like to watch these with my kids, but I'm not a huge fan of the like cherry picking certain shorts and just putting out a couple of them. I just put out the whole thing, man. I would buy a big collector's set of all of these. I wish they would do that. I know they have the Platinum, what is it called? The Platinum Collection, volume 1, 2, and 3, which is pretty comprehensive, but those Blu-rays are insanely expensive. They only released volume 1 in like this big deluxe box set, and it is going for like $200. I think $175 is the cheapest I've seen it. I've actually been trying to get the Looney Tunes recently, and yeah, that Platinum Collection is beautiful. It's a beautiful Blu-ray box set, but it is super expensive, and I don't know if I'm ever going to get my hands on it. So I might have to settle for these little collections of, and I don't know how many are on each disc, but it's just a handful of different shorts. But this is volume 3. This is from Warner Archive. They've been putting out a ton of stuff. I talk about Warner Archive all the time, but it's really cool that they're putting out Looney Tunes. We just got the Hanna-Barbera stuff a couple weeks ago, and now we're getting some Looney Tunes, so very cool to see some animation hitting Blu-ray, especially from Warner, which has not been doing any animation since Zaslav took over because he seems to not have any faith in animation at all. So that's cool. I might pick those up eventually. And we've also got Stephen King's The Shining Blu-ray coming out. This is the TV miniseries version, obviously not the Kubrick film. I bet this one has fans, but I've not heard great things about it, but it's getting a nice little Shout Factory release. This was the 1997 version that Stephen King made, and he didn't direct it, but like he was involved in it because the story goes he doesn't like the Kubrick film because it's not very close to his book or whatever, and he wanted to make a closer version, but I don't think it was very successful. But here it is on Blu-ray. If you do like it a lot, there's what you're going to get. A nice little Shout Factory release. So that's pretty cool. And next is, okay, we won't jump into Aquaman yet. I just realized I wasn't even showing that the whole time. Excuse me. There's what the Stephen King cover looks like. All right, we're going to get into Aquaman in just a second, but let's talk to the chat here and get a little caught up. Big Al says HMV isn't like it once was, sadly. A lot of toys, comics, and sweets from across the globe. Sweets, wow, really? This is a sister store. There is a sister store called FOP, which is more dedicated to media. Oh, interesting. That's a bummer. Yeah, that's what I mean. Best Buy was doing that for a while. Like Best Buy had toys and like action figures and stuff in their store, and it was really weird. They had more of that than they had games and movies. But yeah, that's a bummer. I guess that's just the way everything's going. But I've never heard of FOP, or if I'm saying that right. Ethan Edwards says he's excited to upgrade the Shootist. People talking about the Shootist. Internet user says the Shootist is Wayne's last film, I think. Okay, so that's very late then. Yeah, Ethan Edwards says 3 years before he died of cancer, which that character did. It is his last film. Wow. And then Dan said that the Shootist is actually his favorite John Wayne, and it's also his last. Wow, that's pretty cool. I might have to check that one out. I might have to wait for another Arrow sale soon, even though we just had one. Ethan Edwards says Opie is in it too. Wow. I love me some Andy Griffith Show. I haven't watched that in forever, actually. Let's see. Gus is here. Welcome. Always happy to see Gus. He always comes in so hot. He always comes in so excited. I love when Gus pops in. Luke says the highlight of the Oscars was Al Pacino just being Al Pacino. Yeah, that was something. If you haven't seen that clip, try to look it up, because he is probably drunk and clearly just it was not the best announcement for the final award of the night. Let's see. Big Al says good Irish film is The Commitments, very funny about a band. The Commitments, I've never heard of that one. Yeah, throw some Irish films in there, because we've been watching those lately. We watched obviously Martin McDonagh, the Banshees of Inisherin. I need to get more of his films. That's the only one I have. I don't have his other films, Seven Psychopaths, In Bruges, or Three Billboards. I need to get those on Blu-ray at some point. I know Kino Lorber has a nice 4K of In Bruges that I really want to get, but it's pretty pricey on eBay. I have to get that one eventually, but that is probably my second favorite of his films. It's another combo with Colin Farrell and Gleason. It's not Donald Gleason, it's the other Gleason. But yeah, that pair is great, and I love Banshees. But we've also been watching some John Carney films. We watched Sing Street and Once. Love his stuff too, his two Irish films. I don't think we're gonna watch Begin Again, even though we do have it, but that's yes, it's not as good as his other two, in my opinion. But Eva Wax says Al Pacino looked like he just fell out of bed and landed in a pool of liquor. Then he just flubbed the announcement of Oppenheimer winning Best Picture. Exactly. It was amazing. Luke says, last night I suddenly remembered I loved the Baby Looney Tunes series as a child. Was that popular? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. But I know what you're talking about. It's called Tiny Toons, I believe, where all the Looney Tunes are kids and they're looked after by Granny from Sylvester and Tweety. Yes, I never grew up on that show. It's a little before my time, I think, or maybe I just didn't have that channel. Internet user says Glad Anatomy of a Fall won Best Original Screenplay. I was very too. That's what I gave it to in the Oscar video we did. So I was very excited about that. I wish it had done a little better, but you know, what are you gonna do? There's a lot of great movies this year. And let's see. Internet user says another Irish film is The General, starring Brendan Gleeson. There it is. There he is, Brendan Gleeson. Thank you for putting that in there. Kevin House also seconds The Commitments. And yeah, we're all caught up. Let's jump back. All right. Aquaman. So there's a ton of releases of Aquaman. I did not see this movie. I saw the first one. I didn't see the second one, and I didn't hear many things that made me want to go see it, but maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll check it out at some point. I didn't hear good things, but we've got the standard 4K right here with the slipcover. It's got a nice white slipcover. It's actually a super boring cover. I don't this doesn't this doesn't tell me that it's Aquaman at all. It's just a guy it's just three guys in like silver gunmetal gray bluish like onesies and a little diamond shape. Like where's the water? Where's the color? Where's the comic? It doesn't even look like a comic book movie. It looks like a Resident Evil knockoff movie. This is a terrible cover. I haven't seen the film, but I don't think that the film could win me over on this cover. But it is a 4K, and it does come with a digital 4K, no Blu-ray or DVD on this release. Let's go ahead and look at some of the other releases. Hopefully they look a little bit better than that one. Here's one where he's at least got his colorful costume on, but it's still just like a silvery is there a lot of ice in this movie? I'm guessing there's a lot of ice in this movie. So here he is cracking ice with his trident. He's holding it weird. I don't know why he's holding it by the blade part, but there you go. Look at that. That's the Steelbook. Again, not the best, not crazy about it, but if you like Steelbooks, if you're a Steelbook collector, there you go. Wow, we got a huge image here. That's what the inside looks like. And it's 2 discs, and it's probably, it's 2 discs. Interesting. What's the other disc? Okay, so this one comes to Blu-ray. So the Steelbook is a 4K and Blu-ray and digital combo pack. And it's got the nice icy looking cover there. Now, what is the other release? I saw another one down here. Try to knock them out all at once because here it is. Okay, so this is the third way you can get Aquaman 2 tomorrow or the rest of the week. This is just a Blu-ray with digital, and this is both films together, and I can't get a good look. It looks like it's just a single case with both discs shoved in there. Not a big fan of these multi-packs, but I guess they are kind of nice. If you missed the first one and you want to pick it up and you want to grab the second one as well, then you can get that one. There you go. Just a very generic cover. I guess they had to pull out of the marketing budget once the movie didn't do very well because, yeah, all these covers are not great. But hopefully the movie's fun. Let me know if you've seen that one. And if someone at the beginning said they're going to pick up Aquaman 4K. So it has its fans. But yeah, here is just the standard Blu-ray cover of Aquaman 2. This one is a little better. This just looks like a standard poster. But there you go. Got Patrick Wilson. Patrick Wilson? That's his name? Patrick Wilson. Love that guy. He's in Watchmen. And he's also in the franchise, the horror franchise. What's it called? The Conjuring? He's in the Conjuring franchise. I love him. I wish he would do more stuff that I liked because I like him as an actor, but I haven't seen him in much. But yeah, there you go. You can get the standard Blu-ray and digital as well. Tons and tons of options if you want to get Aquaman this week. Also, we've got Kung Fu Panda getting a 4K upgrade. Now, I don't think I'm going to pick this one up. I've got these ones here. I've got this release of Kung Fu Panda. They put these out probably right before the third one came out. I hate these ones where they look, I like them because they look uniform and they look good together. But then obviously there's a third one that came out which doesn't match, and now fourth one in theaters right now. So they're using the fourth one they're using this to kind of promote the fourth one. They're putting out a 4K release of Kung Fu Panda. I like this movie, actually. I think this is going to suffer the same fate as the Shrek franchise, where they made one really good movie and then they just keep making worse and worse and worse movies. I know I'm going to tick some people off with that because people love Shrek 2. But yeah, I think they're going to damage the brand of the first good movie by just continuing to milk it for all it's worth like they did with Shrek, and now they're doing with Kung Fu Panda. They already have 4 of them. But I really, really like the first Kung Fu Panda. If there was any that I was going to get on 4K, it would be that one. But I don't know. I don't think I need it. I think I'll be fine with the Blu-ray. I think that was early enough that I don't think the animation will be enhanced that much with a 4K. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. If this looks really good, if I hear great things about it, maybe I'll check it out. We actually just watched the second Kung Fu Panda Friday. My son wanted to watch Kung Fu Panda 2. He had never seen it, and they liked the first one, so we just watched that. So that's been fresh on my mind. Maybe I'll take him to see the fourth one. I don't know. I haven't seen the third one. I haven't even seen the third one, and neither have they. I don't know if we're going to see the fourth one in theaters or not. But there you go. You've got Kung Fu Panda and Aquaman. All right, what else is over here? Let me talk to you guys in the chat. People are popping in. Thank you guys for funneling in. Let's see. Ethan Edwards says Odd Man Out is an Irish film you haven't mentioned. Also, Ford's The Last Hurrah is a great Irishy film about an Irish-American politician played by Spencer Tracy. I have that movie in the Indicator box set, I believe, so maybe we'll have to pop that one in. I was thinking about buying, there's another John Ford, obviously The Quiet Man is a John Ford movie that he shot in Ireland, but there's another John Ford movie that he shot in Ireland from way back. It's a black and white film, and it is like a vignette film, 3 different little stories about Irish folk life that are based on short stories, and I'd like to get that at some point, but it's only available on Warner Archive DVD, and I found it on eBay, but it was kind of expensive. It was like $25 or something, so I do want to check that out. Maybe not this year, but hopefully I can get that one eventually. But thanks for recommending that. I'd heard of The Last Hurrah. Like I said, I do have it in that box set, but I didn't know it was based, or it was Irishy. You said Irishy, so maybe it's not that. Irish, but at least a little bit. John Ford loved him some Ireland. Luke, the Oscar exec or someone like that came out and said they told Al Pacino not to list the Best Picture noms since they thought people had heard the nominations enough throughout the night. Well, I'm glad they did, because I don't even know if he could have made it through them. He seemed pretty too far gone at that point. Let's see. Day Ghost is here. He says that is such a plain Aquaman cover. Yeah, they like those movies, if nothing else, are like bizarre and wacky and crazy visuals. At least you could have put something cool in the front. Eva Wax, I was kind of surprised to see Zone of Interest for sound, as I thought Oppenheimer would win hands down. We went crazy when Zone of Interest won sound. So we had a couple friends over last night to watch the Oscars. John from the channel, who you guys know, and his friend Sharon, who has watched the Oscars. They've watched the Oscars together all the way back since like the 90s. Like every year they watch the Oscars together. And last night they came over to our house and we watched them with me and Grace, and it was a really fun time. But yeah, the whole room was full of, like, all four of us were not the biggest fans of Oppenheimer, so we weren't but we still were expecting it to win sound. I mean, that's what Nolan does. But when Zone of Interest won, we all lost our minds. It was quite fun. Dan's News, a super boring cover for a super unremarkable film. Maybe that's what they're going for. Maybe it matches. Let's see what else we've got here. Michael Smith, the Laserdiscs box sets of the Looney Tunes used to go for a pretty penny, especially the one with certain cartoons that got pulled. Yeah, that's what sucks. That's unfortunate, because I don't think there's some that you can never get. Like, I'm really happy that Disney put out the Disney Treasure series, because they've got all of them on there. Pretty much everything is on there. There's a couple things here and there, but all of the oldest stuff is there, which is what I'm most interested in. I wish we had a similar thing for the Warner Brothers cartoons. Like, I wish we had a complete Tom and Jerry cartoon box set. Like, I'm not the biggest Looney Tunes, but I do really like Tom and Jerry, and I wish we could have that. And I'm more interested in the Merry Melodies stuff. That was before, like, it changed over to Looney Tunes, and before we got stuck with the same characters that over and over and over, like when it was like more just random whatever they were feeling like doing, and they weren't locked into a certain cast, I guess you could say. I really like that stuff. I would love that stuff to get cleaned up and put on disc. That'd be amazing, but it's never gonna happen. So I'm not gonna get my wish. What else do we got here? Eva Wax, Patrick Wilson was in a movie called Little Children with Kate Winslet. That's pretty good. Yeah, recommend Patrick Wilson stuff to me. Let me see. Anime Fan says the first Kung Fu Panda film is the best of the films, in my opinion. Yeah, I think everyone would agree with you on that. It's great. Let's see. Anime Fan Patrick Wilson had a funny appearance as himself in the Teen Titans Go episode that had Zack Snyder. Whoa, that's a deep cut. I had no idea about that. Luke says, when War is Over was announced as winner, I immediately thought of you being annoyed. I think everyone was. But we all knew it was coming, so nobody was surprised. Like, that's just what's going to win that award. Just like the sappy, I don't know, hollow, empty, schmaltzy film. But I don't know. I'm glad some of the other ones got nominated. There was better ones. I'm happy Wes won live action. That was pretty cool. Let's see what else is going on here. Oh, The Undeclared Nation, a name we don't talk about very much. Al Pacino is 83 years old and he was not drunk. Please stop saying that. Sorry, I don't know. Yeah, he is. Yeah, that is true. He is just older, so he could have just been. That could have just been his delivery. But yeah, I don't know why he didn't have someone with him. There was like, last night was all pairs of people. Like, there was pairs all night long. The only one that didn't have a pair was Al Pacino, and I think Zendaya for some reason just went out there by herself, but everybody else had kind of like a person to bounce off of, which was nice. It was kind of, that was the best part, I think, was just the people, just the banter between the two hosts. Not the host, not him, but the banter between the two presenters. Kevin House says John Ford's 1935 film The Informer is another great film that takes place in Ireland. Wow, I did not know John Ford did that many Irish films. Let's see. Oh, yes, thank you. Ethan Edwards says Spielberg was alone too. That's true, but that makes sense. It was the director giving out his award. All right, let's jump back. We're getting off the rails here. We gotta catch up. All That Money Can Buy is coming out from Criterion. Now, this one, back when they announced this a couple months ago, this looked like the one that I was most excited for this month. So this is coming out this month in March. It's also called The Devil and Daniel Webster, and it's got, look at that. Look at that. Oh, that looks so cool. I love the cover art, and I loved the description that I read on here. Let me see if it has the description. It does. Jebus Stone is a hardworking farmer trying to make an honest living, but a streak of bad luck tempts him to do the unthinkable, bargain with the devil himself. In exchange for 7 years of good fortune, Stone promises Mr. Scratch his soul, but when the troubled farmer begins to realize the error of his choice, he enlists the aid of the one man who might save him, the legendary orator and politician Daniel Webster. This looks amazing. This sounds right up my alley. I'm very excited to check this one out. I've never seen this before, but I can't wait to check that one out. That's got to be a July purchase in the July sale for me. That's a 1941 movie. Yeah, you guys who know me know that sounds like something I would love. But there's another Criterion coming out this month. We'll go ahead and skip to that one. Tomorrow, we've also got All the Beauty and the Bloodshed getting a Blu-ray release. Now, I don't know if this is a Criterion or if this is part of the Janus Contemporaries line. Blu-ray.com makes no distinction between those. They still put Criterion here. I guess it is Criterion. It has the Criterion logo right at the top. Look at that. So 2 Criterions dropping tomorrow. All the Beauty and the Bloodshed is also getting a release. This is from 2022, so way more recent than the 1943 film that I'm much more interested in. But there you go. I've got 2 Criterion releases coming out tomorrow. I know some people don't wait for the sales. Some people just support Criterion and buy them right when they come out. So maybe you'll be picking that one up, or maybe if you pre-ordered some of those in the flash sale that just happened. Those are coming out tomorrow. Keeping it going with the 4K upgrade. So this is another Shout Factory release. This is Quigley Down Under from Tom Selleck. There you go. We've got the iconic stash right there. I don't know if this one has a slipcover. It doesn't look like it does, but it is a Shout Select release. They've been releasing these at least a couple a month, I feel like. we've been talking about these a lot, but there you go. Quigley Down Under. This looks like, it says Western film, but to me, this poster would have me believe that it was like more of an Indiana Jones kind of adventure, like a romp, which seems much more interesting to me. It's also got like a pirate ship looking thing right there and some really cool outdoor shots. So if you've seen Quigley Down Under, let me know if it's worth checking out, because it seems like a fun adventure thing. That's from 1990. Good old Tom Selleck. What happened to him? All right, Schwarzenegger. We're going to Schwarzenegger here. Another Schwarzenegger, but this one is not James Cameron. This is from Paramount. This is getting a 4K and digital release. It's The Running Man. Look at this. Holy, look at this. This looks incredible. What a lovely release. It's got a slipcover. It's also got a steelbook. It says limited edition steelbook reprint. What does that mean? Does that mean this is a steelbook that already exists and this is a reprinting of it? If so, I've never seen this one, but maybe some people already have this. But look at this. It looks like an awesome steelbook. I love that kind of retro, grungy look that it's got going there. And it has a slipcover. Very, very cool. And the back looks amazing as well. This looks awesome. I've never seen this film. Like I said, I'm so behind on my 80s films, but looks really cool. There he is. Schwarzenegger, The Running Man. That looks really cool. I didn't even realize that was a steelbook by the image that I put in the thumbnail, because I didn't pull the full image, but there you go. I know a lot of people will be excited about that. One of my close friends, who actually I do the other show with, the other live show on Thursdays, he's a huge Running Man fan. He and his son love that movie, so that's really cool that they're getting a 4K release. Hopefully it's a nice upgrade, and you have to let me know if that's a first time or if that's a re-release. But we've got Schwarzenegger coming out. We've also got Disney's Wish coming out, and we've got a couple different versions to look at there. But let's go ahead and jump back and see what people are saying in the chat. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. Luke says, when Spielberg went on stage, that cemented the fact Nolan would win. Yeah, Kevin House says, Patrick Wilson was also great in the first season of TV's Fargo. He is incredible in Fargo. And is he in the first season? I think he's in the second season. I think the first season? Is he in this? I think he's in the second season. But I love that whole show. I've only seen the first 3 seasons, but I love all of them. And he is great in that. You're right. Henry says, all that money can buy is such a great tale. And Dan seconds that. Herman's only Oscar win. Wow. That's interesting. He's great. Michael Smith, Patrick Wilson in Hard Candy. Cringe film, though. So he's just recommending things, even if he doesn't like them. The Oscars need to do the obvious and get Ricky Gervais up there. That would be great. Yeah, he used to do the Golden Globes. I guess he can't do anything anymore. I don't know if they'll let him. I guess Jimmy Kimmel is just kind of like a safe, like he doesn't push it too far. He's just kind of like a kind of bland host, but I guess he just gets the job done. Kevin says The Devil and Daniel Webster is an excellent film that I have on an early Criterion edition. Yeah, so that's coming back into the collection. I should have mentioned that. It's an early spine number, but I'm glad it's coming back and it's getting a Blu-ray release because I don't have that one yet and I haven't seen it. Character Digi, super excited about Running Man on 4K. One of my favorite Schwarzenegger films. Yeah, that looks like an awesome release. Very excited for people to get their hands on that one. Dago says Quigley Down Under looks like a movie I've got to see. Yeah, right. Either it's a fun movie or they just cut a really good poster because it looks awesome. Naked Zaya, The Running Man is fire. So he's very excited about that one. Or I shouldn't assume they're very excited about that one. The Day Ghost also says it's a beautiful release for Running Man. Here we go. Dan says Quickly Down Under is good. It's a great Basil Rathbone score, even if elements regarding the Aboriginals are quite problematic. Ooh, okay. All the way in the 90s. Wow. That's cool. I'm glad it's good because it looks fun. Grubby Raccoon is here. Love your name. Says, hey there. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining us. Big Al also loves the beautiful Running Man set. Jay is here. Just Jay says hi. Let's see. Evil Wax 73. This past season of Fargo was awesome. That is great to hear because I have not seen, like I said, I've only seen the first three seasons. I missed the fourth season and now they're already on the fifth season. So I'm way behind. I haven't been watching TV lately, but that's awesome that the fifth season is great. I need to get back on that. Bailey Walsh says, this weekend was a whirlwind. I totally forgot it's Monday and about your stream. I happened to open YouTube and it was right at the top. Hello. Oh, thank you, YouTube, for recommending my video to at least somebody. And thank you, Bailey, for tuning in. Good to see you. She says, I'm definitely getting Poor Things. It was my most anticipated film of 2023 and only recently watched it. It did not disappoint. Really liked the book. Loved the movie. It was great. It's wonderful. I hope you get yourself a copy. Ethan Edwards says, Hard Candy is pretty good, but difficult. What is Hard Candy? I feel like I'm gonna have to look that up after the show because two people have mentioned it and I feel like I know what that is. I might be confusing it with something else though. Luke says Emma Stone got caught calling Jimmy a certain expletive you probably can't say out loud, but it rhymes with hunt. That's super random comment, but thank you for the trivia fact of the night. What do you mean she got caught? Was it like at the after party or something? Ethan Edwards says it's at least difficult for men. So he's talking about Hard Candy. Hey, Dan Messer is here. Messer? He says, love your channel. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm going to keep doing it for as long as I can. So thank you guys for tuning in. Let's jump back over to the new releases. This is why people are here. People want to see what's coming out. And here we go. We're on Wish. So if you haven't seen Wish, I don't recommend it. It was, I think it tops Home on the Range for worst Disney Walt Disney Animation Studios film ever. I really didn't like it. I thought it was terrible. But if you did like it, it's coming out on 4K in multiple different versions. So we've got the 4K Steelbook here. This is a Walmart exclusive Steelbook. You got to go to Walmart to get this one from Disney, obviously. And it's got a 4K, a Blu-ray, and a digital. This is the cover they went with. So it's kind of like a full wraparound artwork. There's the castle, and it just says Wish on the side. And there you go. You've got the main character on a tree branch with the little annoying star guy from the movie. And there's the inside as well. So if you really like that movie, you want to get a 4K Steelbook, we've got that, like I said, exclusive to Walmart. So I don't have a pricing on that. You can't get it on Amazon. And then if you don't want it on 4K and Blu-ray is good enough for you, you've got the standard Blu-ray slipcover edition. And there's a slipcover on that. You got Chris Pine, poor Chris Pine, right up there at the top. This is a Blu-ray, DVD, and digital. There's the annoying goat character right there. I'm just going to put, why is the rating on the front? That's super weird. Can you see that? They put the rating on the front of the slipcover. That's so UK of them. Is that going to start? I hope that doesn't start. That's terrible. I don't want the rating stamped right there on the front. Maybe it's because it's PG and Disney movies are usually, I don't know. I don't know why they would put the rating on the front. I don't even know why they got a PG. That is very strange. But there you go. You've got the slipcover for the Blu-ray edition of Wish. Let's see if there's any other editions. Is it just those two? I know Disney's cutting way back on physical media, so it might just be those two. That's all I'm seeing here is the Blu-ray slip and the 4K Steelbook. Well, there you go. You got two options there for Wish. We've also got Ferrari from 2023 getting a release. This is the big film that everybody thought Penelope Cruz was going to be nominated for, but everybody that I know personally that saw it thought it was pretty mid, as the kids are saying these days. So there you go, or were saying some days, not too long ago. There you go, the best car movie ever made, says the Wall Street Journal. Ferrari, starring Penelope Cruz and Adam Driver. There you go, and Shailene Woodley's in that. Wow. Yeah, I didn't see that one. I missed that one, but that's getting a little bare bones Blu-ray release as well. And then we've got one more 4K another 4K Steelbook here. This is a limited edition reprint as well from Paramount Pictures. So this and The Running Man both getting Steelbook releases. Let's see if this one looks as nice. Oh, it does. It does. So this is Event Horizon, and you've got the Steelbook there underneath, but you've also got a Steelbook. You've also got a slipcover that goes over the Steelbook, and this, I love when they do this. It's a clear slipcover, and it's got elements that are not clear that move up when you pull it off. So all the hands around the eye, you can see right there, slide off, and there's the Steelbook underneath. Another good-looking Steelbook. But there you go. That's Event Horizon from 1997. A little horror thriller with a sci-fi bent, which is pretty cool. My favorite kind of horror. Well, not my favorite kind. I will say my favorite kind is like supernatural, like classic horror, like ghosts and werewolves and all that stuff. But then I guess if I'm going to go modern horror, it's got to be like sci-fi or fantasy or something. Not big on just like serial killer horror movies. But there you go. 4K Blu-ray and a digital for Paramount's Event Horizon, getting another Steelbook. Lots of great stuff coming out this week. This is a jam-packed week. I should probably start going through it a little bit faster. We've also got, what's this? Suzume from... where is this? Is this a Japanese film? So this is a Japanese film getting a Blu-ray release as well. An animated film that looks like it won several awards. If you see those little laurels at the top, that means it's an award winner, but I've not heard of it because, like I said, I'm not huge on my my anime, but there it is. Suzume from 2022, a recent one, getting a Blu-ray release. That's cool. I'm always happy when I see animation getting physical media releases. Let's jump one more. We'll do one more here. So we've got Anyone But You is coming out way down at the bottom. I'm surprised to see this so low, being ranked by popularity, because I think this one did pretty well in the theater. This is from Sony Pictures. This is the new rom-com starring young people, Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell. There you go, from the director of Easy A and Friends with Benefits. I did not see this one. My wife did see this one. I think she rented it or something. We didn't get to see it in the theater. She's a big rom-com fan, and even she said that this was not that great. She didn't love it, but it's apparently doing well with the young kids in the in the theater. I think it did pretty good. I think it made some money. But there you go. Got a rom-com. Looks like a bare bones Sony release. But there you go. You got Anyone But You if you're interested in seeing some young hot people get into some crazy shenanigans. What are we saying in the chat over here? Let's see. Oh, I'm way behind. I'm going to try to get to everyone's questions tonight or comments. Hopefully I can. But it's starting to fill in. People are finally filing in. So thank you guys for joining. Let me see. Brian Hadsell, another one. My kid's growing up into being quite the Oscar fan. He started cheering excitedly when he saw the clip they showed from Robot Dreams, a movie that he loves and keeps drawing the characters from. I have heard nothing but great things about Robot Dreams. I really wanted a chance to see it. It was only playing one night in my theaters here in Atlanta, and I missed it. But my friend John, like I said, who came over last night, he did see Robot Dreams, and he said it was amazing. He gave it 4.5 stars. It was his favorite animated movie of the year, I think. So I really got to check that out. I can't wait to see that one. It sounds like something I would really like. Dan says, Wish, no good. Pretty sure I wrote my longest review because of it, though. Oh, wow. I got to read that. You really dug into that thing. I couldn't write anything about it because it was just, it's just so put off by it. Let's see. Ethan Edwards says... Disney made some pretty bad ones in the 70s and 80s. Yeah, but I can at least watch those. I go back to those with the kids. I don't think I'll ever go back to Wish. But I'm sure there's some people that like it. Internet user says, you wish you haven't seen Wish. I'm sorry. I love when someone apologizes for their jokes. I really enjoy that. Thank you for that, internet user. Let's see. Who else we got in the chat here? Brian again says he also shouted, "It's Ken," whenever he saw Ryan Gosling sitting in the audience. When Gosling, "I'm just Ken," he started counting all of the Kens and kept chanting, "I'm just Ken." Yeah, that was amazing. That was the best part of the night, was the "I'm just Ken" performance. That was really cool. I don't want to downplay, someone said earlier that Al Pacino was the best part of the night, but I think "I'm Just Ken" was the highlight. Also Wes winning, and you got Emma Stone winning. It was a good show. It was fun. It was a fun night. The Day Ghost says Disney has been in a pretty wonky period for a while. Yeah, I can't remember the last one I loved. Maybe Big Hero 6. I liked Encanto pretty well, but yeah, I don't like this era that we're in right now, where everything kind of looks the same. I'll give that. That's the one thing I'll give Wish, is it looked different. Everything else has been looking the same for so long, but Wish looked different. I just didn't care for the story at all, and I didn't look great. But I think it was really rushed. Like, I don't want to give the animators crap. I feel like it was like super rushed to get out for the anniversary or something like that. I don't know. I haven't done my research, but apparently that was kind of a messy production. Let's see. Anime Fan says Frozen 3 will save Disney. Oh man, are they making a Frozen 3? I didn't even know that. Dan says Ferrari's not bad. Definitely not the best man, though. The best man? What does that mean? Is that a term that people are using? Let's see. Luke says, as someone who's seen none of them, Ferrari looks like Maestro's twin. Yeah, Maestro wasn't my favorite either. Oh, people are popping in. Let's see who else is here. Laren. Hey, Laren's here. Hey, DJ, did you grab any Walmart Steelbooks? Sorry if you mentioned earlier. I did not mention, so thanks for bringing that up, man. I did not grab any of the Walmart Steelbooks. I was looking... Which one was I looking for? I think there was one that I was interested in. I think actually my wife ran to Walmart to pick up something small the other day, and I told her, I said, can you go back and look at the Steelbooks? And she was back there like on FaceTime showing me what they had. But I haven't picked any up yet. I know it's like all the rage right now. Everybody's picking up the Walmart Steelbooks, but I don't know how they look. Hopefully the Lionsgate Steelbooks are still just as good with the nice high quality that they were doing with Best Buy. But no, I haven't picked any up yet. Let me know which ones you guys are picking up. I don't think they've put out anything that I just have to have yet, but they're putting out a ton. Walmart's killing it, I guess. Michael Smith, not into anime either, but the anime section in Kill Bill was awesome. Dan says, anyone but you had an extraordinary box office run. See, that's what I thought. I thought I heard it did really well. That makes sense. It's like young people. It's a rom-com. It's a fun movie that people can go see. Not my bag, but I'm glad it's doing well at least. Maybe rom-coms are on the way back. What was that one with Jennifer Lawrence that came out was it last year? So they're starting to come back. But they're just so weird. Like, they're so, like, Grace was talking to me about this because she loves rom-coms. And like, she can't get into them these days because they're the same thing that just regular comedies have these days. We can't just have like a standard, like low stakes, just regular comedy. Everything has to be like insane by the end of it and like completely jump the shark. Like, I think this one, she said they were like on a boat, like racing, or like everything has to be like a life or death ending, even though it's just a little rom-com. I don't know why they have to do that these days. Like, just make a movie. We don't have to be. It doesn't have to be an action movie. Luke says, anyone but you is apparently the highest grossing Shakespeare adaptation of all time. Wow, that is criminal. Connor says, sorry I'm late, y'all. How are you guys doing? Hey, Connor, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Everyone just saying hi to Connor. Kevin says, DJ, I showed a friend of mine Dan in real life the other night, and she really enjoyed it. Hey, one of my favorites. Speaking of rom-coms, I think that qualifies. It's more serious, but it is great. I love Dan in real life. One of my favorites. Thanks for bringing that up. That makes me happy. Dan Messer, what is your favorite Best Picture winner that you've seen? Oh, man. I would have to look at a list. Oh, man. Best Picture winner. I would have to pull up a list. What am I thinking of? Last year was Everything Everywhere, which wasn't my favorite. I feel like my favorite never wins. But yeah, Best Picture that I've seen. I am not up on my Best Picture winners. I would have to look at a list, but that would be a fun video to do, or at least a fun list to make on Letterboxd. You stumped me with that one, Dan. I am not prepared. I didn't do the reading. The Day Ghost says the last Disney movie I really liked was Tangled. It's been a lot of mediocrity since. Interesting. I don't like, well, I'll say this. I remember liking Tangled the first time. For whatever reason, the last time I watched Tangled, I really, really didn't like it. Maybe I need to give it another watch, though. Luke, Toy Story 4 was good, but that franchise is a banker. It's hard to go wrong. People like Luca too, but I've not seen it. Yeah, the Pixar stuff is kind of a different animal. I think they are kind of hit and miss these days. They're still putting out really good stuff. I really, really liked Luca. I thought it was great. That's my favorite in a while. Such an amazing score. One of the best scores Pixar has ever done. I listened to that score a lot. Dan's Den, that does sound funny, though, in the context of a man, though. Okay, he was talking about Michael Mann before when he's just said man, who is the director of Last of the Mohicans, Heat, Collateral, and Ferrari. Gotcha. Thanks for keeping me up to date there. Alden Tuttle's here, says James Cameron is overrated with 3 exclamation points. The only cool thing about him is the thematic parallels between Rambo 2 and Alien 2. Wow, Alden Tuttle coming out swinging. Please direct all of your hate mail right here to Alden Tuttle. I'm kidding. Be nice in the comments. But yeah, James Cameron's not for everyone. So I understand. Grubby Raccoon, I did get to The Quiet Man this last week. It was such a pleasant viewing, right? What a great word. What a great word. Pleasant. Just such a lovely movie. We're going to try to watch that tomorrow night. Like I said, we've been watching through some, I don't want to say Irish movies. I'll just say like Ireland movies, because I don't think The Quiet Man's not an Irish movie. It's made by Ford, but it takes place in Ireland, and it's all about Ireland. And it's a beautiful his love letter to Ireland. And I think it's great. And I can't wait to watch it again. We bought some Irish whiskey the other day. We're going to crack it open and watch The Quiet Man tomorrow night. So really looking forward to that. And I think me and Grace are going to shoot a video about and recommending some Irish movies to watch this year. We're going to try to get that up before St. Paddy's Day, so I guess we have to shoot that tomorrow or Wednesday, and then get that uploaded for you guys soon. So stay tuned for that. Connor says, if Sunrise counts, then that's my favorite. Ethan Edwards says, Sunrise might be the greatest film ever made, but it didn't win Best Picture. Okay. That's true. It's true. It might be a technicality, but yes, that is true. And Luke says, No Hard Feelings has an unfortunate Matthew Broderick appearance too. Oh no. Why did he appear in that? That's so weird. All right, let's jump back to some cool stuff. So this is very exciting. Dragonslayer 4K, and I don't have to show you the screenshot, I'll just show you the real thing. So if you don't know the story of me getting this, it was quite a journey for me to get a copy of this. It was very difficult, but I finally got myself a copy, and now it looks like I didn't have to go through all that trouble because it's getting a re-release. But this is one of my favorite steelbooks I own. I'm not a huge steelbook guy, but I love steelbooks with slips, and this is a beautiful steelbook. Even if this didn't have a slip, I'd like it. Look at this. Look at that. Incredible steelbook. This is Dragonslayer from 1981. I think Guillermo del Toro was a big reason that this got put out. He kind of got behind it and made sure that the release was really nice. And there's a commentary on here with him and I think the director. Very cool movie that I hadn't seen. I totally missed it in my childhood, and I watched this last year when I picked up the steelbook. And like I said, one of my favorite releases of the year, one of my favorite steelbooks I own, and a really fun, just kind of campy. It's exactly what I want from. Maybe not exactly what I want, but it is. I liked it a lot. This is what I want from Sword and Sorcery stuff. I just wanted to play it completely straight. We all know that Sword and Sorcery is it's always going to be a little bit silly. So you got to have some silly, just embrace it and just have the characters play it straight. Don't make reference to it. Don't talk about how silly it is. Just play it straight. And this is a really fun one. It's just a classic, like, Sorcerer's Apprentice type deal where there's this young guy who's the apprentice of a wizard, and he's starting his journey, and he goes on a journey, and there's a big dragon at the end with a really cool practical face and everything. It's great. It's a lot of fun. Highly recommended. If you didn't get it last year, you're going to get a second chance here because it's getting a re-release. This is also a limited edition reprint from Paramount Pictures. So it looks like all of those are older steelbooks that are getting re-released now. So this is it. I just showed it to you, but there's all the artwork together. That's what it looks like on the inside. You've got that little quotation there. This is really cool. I love this steelbook. I recommend it. I know Day Ghost is in the chat, and he's a huge fantasy fan as well. I don't think you picked it up, Connor. Everyone who missed this one, go out and get the reprint because I highly recommend it. It's great. Love Dragonslayer. And then we've also got Impulse, coming out from Grindhouse Releasing, which I've never mentioned on this show before. I don't know what that is. It is a 3-movie collection. It's got Impulse, The Devil's Sisters, and The Godmothers. The Impulse is from 1974. These look like really short little horror movies. And there's the cover on that. So I don't, like I said, I don't know what this label is. Grindhouse Releasing, probably a very, very tiny label, but I'm glad that they're putting stuff out. I love to support boutiques when I can. Speaking of, I just got a tiny little, what is it? Speaking of horror movies, Terror Vision. If you've never heard of Terror Vision, there's a little tiny Blu-ray label called Terror Vision, and they are a boutique line that puts out their own, it's an independent label that put out their own stuff, and I got a release from them that I pre-ordered back in the fall, and it finally got here this week, so I'm going to be doing a video on that. Hopefully I can shoot that soon, maybe today or tomorrow. Maybe I'll shoot it after this. I don't know. It depends on how tired I am after this stream. Maybe not. Maybe I'll shoot it tomorrow. But going to shoot a little video spotlighting that because I want to support them and really like the release. It's a really cool release. All right. Let's jump back and knock out a few more of these. Color Purple is a big one here because this is an Oscar nominee. This was nominated for Best Actress. I don't think it got Best Song, which is weird because it's a musical, but it did get a Best Actress nom, and I think it got a couple other things, maybe. But there's the slip on that. Obviously, it's got to be purple. If it didn't have a purple spine, that would be just wrong. But yeah, you never know. Sometimes things should have a lot of color on their covers, and they don't. Reference the beginning of the video with Aquaman. But here you go, The Color Purple. This is not a musical adaptation of the drama film from Steven Spielberg, I believe. This is actually a adaptation of the Broadway musical. So it's a whole thing. It's like the Broadway musical was its own thing, and now this is an adaptation of that. So this is a musical, and I heard good things about it. This is one of the Oscar nominees that I didn't get a chance to see this year, so that was unfortunate, but I've heard a lot of good things about The Color Purple. It's just a 4K disc and a 4K digital, and you can get it right now for $29.96 on Amazon. And if you don't want the 4K, there's also a Blu-ray version with a completely different cover. It does have the ugly Blu-ray banner across the top there, but it also has a nice eye-catching... Well, I don't love the poster as much, but I do love the color. And there you go, The Color Purple. If you wanted to get in 4K or Blu-ray, both of those are available tomorrow, March 12th. So that's cool. That's getting a release. And that's interesting that got a 4K. And I guess, I mean, poor things. It's just Disney, man. Disney doesn't want to put out. So that one is Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is much better about putting out 4Ks. And Sony, hopefully now that Sony will be handling the distribution of... I mean, we can cross our fingers and hope that they'll be putting out more Disney stuff on 4K. Who knows what Disney's going to allow them to do, but I hope so because, yeah, that's a bummer that my two favorite films from the last 2 years didn't get 4K releases. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm cursed. We're also getting, let's see, these are just some TV shows. Oh, Kino Lorber. It wouldn't be an episode of This Week in Physical Media if we didn't talk about Kino Lorber because they put out something pretty much every single week. And this is The Whip and the Body from Kino Lorber. Just a Blu-ray release on this one. There's the cover. Christopher Lee. Look at that. Christopher Lee, a young Christopher Lee. So this has got to be, what decade is this? 1963. So not too young, but yeah, 1963, starring Christopher Lee, a horror mystery film, and it's a Spanish film? Or is it French? It might be French. Interesting. Or it could be Italian. French or Italian, that's what I'm going to guess. I'm going to guess it's either French or Italian based on the alternate title there. But yeah, there you go, The Whip and the Body. Have not heard of that one, but Kino Lorber always puts out great releases. Let's see if they're putting out anything else this week. That's the only one I saw. Interesting. So that might be the least Kino Lorber we've ever talked about on the show. We always have lots of Kino Lorber to talk about, but there you go. We can't make it through 1 week without talking about Kino Lorber. Here's the other Kino Lorber release, The President's Analyst, coming out from 1967. So two 60s films from Kino Lorber this week. We've got James Coburn in The President's Analyst. That is an I would think that would be a 70s font, but I guess it is 60s, late 60s. But there you go, The President's Analyst, which is a comedy and a drama, according to Blu-ray.com. There you go, two Kino Lorber releases. Glad I found that other one. Want to give some representation to them each week because they're a great boutique label. All right, what else do we have here? let me jump into Dan's comment here. Dragonslayer, an incredible special effects film. It is. It really is. It holds up great. Like I said, I didn't see it until just last year, and it looks awesome. David's crying because he's late again. Don't worry. Never fear. You can always watch it after the fact, and you're here now, and we've still got a good bit of time left, so thanks for jumping in. Connor says Wings has been deemed the canonical first Best Picture winner. Yes, and I want to get that. I saw a copy of that at one of my used stores, and I held off and I didn't pick it up. But is it a BFI release or is it a Eureka release? I think it's Eureka. I really want to get the Eureka release of that. Jay Hutch is here, says they should still have a Best Artistic and Unique Film category. I feel like Poor Things would have won that one. If they still had that category, that'd be cool. I'm a proponent of more categories because that just means more things get recognized. Laren says Toy Story 4 was incredibly pointless and was a stab to the back of Toy Story 2. I will never watch 5. LOL. Wow, so he's heated. He's heated about the Toy Story franchise. I also didn't like Toy Story 4 very much, but I don't think it's ever got better than Toy Story 2 for me. That's not a franchise that I love, though. I like a lot of other Pixar franchises better than the Toy Story franchise. David says I have the 3 Cameron Disney Movie Club films already pre-ordered and wish I'd not done it and gotten the others before. Yes, like I was talking about at the beginning, you said you weren't here, but I was talking about that you can get those on Disney Movie Club. But that's cool that you got them pre-ordered before they sold out, so I'm glad you're at least going to get copies of them. And David also got his copy of Wish yesterday from Walmart. David's Walmart's putting the movies out early. Look at that. Good on you, Walmart. That's pretty good. Maybe they will make a name for themselves in the physical media market. Luke says, have you seen there's going to be a Naked Gun remake / reboot with Liam Neeson as the Leslie Nielsen role? No, I did not see that. That sounds I don't know how that sounds. That sounds weird. I don't think I can see. Does Liam Neeson do like straight up comedies? I don't see him as that. He's been doing nothing but like gruff action movies for like 2 decades now. Jay Hutch talks too much. After her reaction in your Disney video, I'm looking forward to hearing Grace's thoughts on Darby O'Gill and the Little People. Yeah, I didn't tell her at all what I was pulling out of that box, and she was really confused by that pick. But I hope we get a chance to watch that this week because St. Paddy's Day is coming up, and there's leprechauns in that. So, Color Purple is an unfortunate film because it's a great story, but they don't do well translating it to a musical format. Interesting. That's what Den says. People saying that the Naked Gun remake is a terrible idea. Let's see. Luke, I don't understand the fascination with film adaptations of musical adaptations of films. Color Purple, Matilda, and Mean Girls. Yeah, it's starting to be a trend. You're right. I saw the Matilda one. I didn't see Mean Girls. I think Grace went to see that in the theater with one of her friends. But yeah, it's happening a lot, and I don't care about that either. So I said we just watched once this weekend. I found out when I was listening to the soundtrack on just my while I was working the other day, because it's a wonderful soundtrack and that movie's amazing, that there is a Broadway adaptation of Once, which is the worst thing I could think of. I don't want to watch that. It's the whole point of Once is that it's just this naturalistic, unscripted improv films with shaky cam, handheld cam the entire time. I don't want to see a really produced Broadway version of that. That sounds terrible. Maybe it's fine. I don't know. But why is it Once? Once is a very specific thing, and I don't like that. Let's see. David says, I hope that we get Shrek 4 sometime in 4K. Have they only done the first 3? Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we will. Maybe when DreamWorks is running out of stuff to release. I just want a Road to El Dorado in 4K because that's the best DreamWorks movie ever. Ethan Edwards, Wings is good, but Vidor's The Big Parade is better. Alden Tuttle says, my niece is a month old now and absolutely precious. Babies just require a lot of TLC. Don't I know it, sir? Don't I know it, man? If I didn't have 2 kids, I could get so many more videos done. But no, I love them. We were outside jumping on the trampoline and playing outside today because it's in the 70s, and we had a lot of fun. And that's, if my voice leaves me earlier than it usually does, that's because I was screaming outside with them, having a good time, playing rough. So my voice is a little. Let me actually take a swig while I mention that, because my voice was already feeling shaky before I even started, so that wasn't a good sign. Eva Wax, Inside Out 2 looks like it's going to be a great, based on the preview. Yeah, I have only seen the little teaser for that one, but yeah, That's interesting. That was one that I wasn't really interested at all until I saw the teaser. I was like, oh, that could be interesting. Kevin House says, for me, the scene in the first Toy Story when Buzz realizes he's just a toy is amazing. Yeah, actually, the last time I watched the Toy Story movies, I said earlier that Toy Story 2 is my favorite, and that's always been my favorite since I was like a child. But the last time I watched them, showing my kids for the first time, the first one, I like the first one better. And that's the first time that's ever happened. Usually it's Toy Story 2, but I really, really like the first one on this last viewing. Let's see. David Albee. To clarify above, I haven't seen Wish, but just wanted a complete Disney animated collection. Yeah, that's the thing, man. I'm like one movie away from completing my Disney animated collection. All I need is Hunchback of Notre Dame, and I'll have the entire run all the way back to Snow White. But now that means I have to buy Wish, and I really don't want to buy Wish. So maybe I'll just stop. Maybe I'll just end it, and I won't keep collecting those. I don't know. That's going to be a bummer. It's so close to complete, and now Wish came out. Let's see. Jay Hutch, I love Liam Neeson's cameo as himself in the Ricky Gervais show Life's Too Short. Yeah, I'm sure he has a sense of humor. Maybe he could do it. Maybe he could do it in his own way. Michael Smith, I'm one of those fuddy-duddies that don't watch animated films at all. Only exceptions was taking my niece and nephew to a couple of them. Oh, well, that's fine. No, it's not for everybody, but I personally love animation, and I wanted to see it taken more seriously in this country, because it's not. Luke says, I saw Toy Story 3 in IMAX in 2010 when I was 5, and the clapping monkey terrified me. Yeah, we just watched Return to Oz last night. The kids watched it, which they've seen it before. And they actually picked it last night. Judah wanted to watch it, but yeah, it gave him nightmares last night because that's a really creepy movie. He's 5, my daughter's 3. She was fine. She was just like loving everything, but yeah, he woke up a couple times last night. Unfortunately, but he loves that movie too, and I don't think it's going to ruin it for him. What else do we got? Just a couple more things here. I think we'll wrap it up here. We've already talked about the Criterion release. There's some TV stuff, which we don't usually get into, but Cult 45 is getting a complete series release. And then there's some really, this is where we get to the really deep pull, the really low budget releases here at the bottom from some really independent studios. I did want to mention this because we've been talking about animation and DreamWorks a lot, and Prince of Egypt is one that I completely missed growing up, and I didn't see it. I did buy the 4K last year, and I'm going to watch it this year around Passover time, and this is crazy. What is this? This is Prince of Egypt, the musical. Speaking of, it's all tying together. This is a perfect day. So Prince of Egypt is a musical adaptation. I don't know if it's based on the animated movie or if they just took the title because they knew it would sell better, but there you go. It is a musical adaptation. Oh, it is, because it's put on by DreamWorks, so it is 100% based on the DreamWorks movie. Coming out from Universal Studios. I know nothing about this. I don't know how you do this on stage, but there you go. It looks like just people dancing. It doesn't look like there's that much production, at least on the stills on the back. But let me know if anyone, I would love to hear if anyone has seen The Prince of Egypt, the musical, or also known as Prince of Egypt Live from the West End. But that's getting a Blu-ray release. That's crazy. Never in a million years would have expected that to be getting a Blu-ray release this week. But there you go. So I've never seen that. I am going to watch the original animated version. I don't think I'm going to watch that version, but that's really interesting. What else do we have? Just a couple more things here. I don't think anything that I should go ahead and call out, but yeah, some other little things on there at the bottom. But I'm going to end it with the Prince of Egypt, the musical. Prince of Egypt, the musical, getting a release. Like I said, let me know if you've seen that one. What do we got here? What do we got? Hour 12. We'll go for about 15 more minutes here. If you're going to do some Q&A, ask any more questions. Maybe I should pull up a list of Best Picture nominees and try to answer that question from earlier, because I felt bad that I didn't have a good answer for that list of Best Picture winners. Here we go. What do we got? Oh, I'm going to need pictures, but here we go. We'll just go down the list here. Which ones have I seen? See, this would be easier if I just pulled up a Letterboxd list, which I probably should. I could do that. Letterboxd, sign me in and search for Best Picture Best Picture winners, right? That's what he said. Best Picture winners. I'm sure someone has put together a list. Here it is. It's already updated because it's got Oppenheimer on here. Spoiler alert. Oppenheimer, Coda. I liked that one. Shape of Water. Shape of Water might be up there. That was one of my favorite. That was my favorite movie of that year, I think. And that one also won Best Picture. Birdman was good. I saw that one. I saw Argo. Best Picture winner that I've seen. Interesting. Yeah, we're going to get to the 90s and 80s here, which I've seen none of these. It's a huge blind spot for me. Rocky, obviously, is great. The Sting is great. Sound of Music and My Fair Lady, 2 in a row. The Apartment. Oh, this is hard. Why are you doing this to me? I love Around the World in 80 Days. I like West Side Story a lot. All About Eve is so good. This is impossible. This is an impossible question. Casablanca, I've seen. It Happened One Night is really good. Whew, this is tough. I'll go with The Apartment. I'll say The Apartment. That's my pick. The Apartment is my pick for now, but maybe I need to do a little. I have to pour over that list a little bit more, but I don't want to take up too much time. But there's my answer for that question that was about an hour ago. You finally got your answer. Hopefully you're still listening, but that's a crazy list. Let's see, David Albee, Michael, there's a bunch of films you should give a chance if you're willing. There's a lot of animated films I could recommend. And there's some adult animated films that aren't just for kids that you could check out. Kevin House. Just remember to watch Darby O'Gill alone with Grace before showing it to the kids. There's one scene that might be too scary for them. Thank you for that, and thank you for your comment on that video. I didn't get a chance to respond, but a couple people chimed in and said, yeah, maybe don't show it to them yet. So I wasn't planning on watching it with them. I'm actually watching through the Irish Folklore trilogy, which is back there. Because those are wonderful animated films and wonderful Irish films, and those would be some animated films I would recommend if you're not a big animation fan, because they look incredible and they look like nothing else. I love that studio. I wish they would do more stuff. I don't think they've done anything. Well, I guess Wolfwalkers wasn't that long ago, but we've been popping those in. We watched Wolfwalkers a couple days ago, and we're gonna watch Song of the Sea maybe tomorrow. Love that one. That's my favorite of the trilogy. But yeah, those are some really good Irish movies and animation movies, so they fit perfectly into the theme tonight. Luke says, my favorite kind of animation is the Aardman claymation style. Flushed Away is in my top 10 favorite films. Also love the Pirates film and the Wallace and Gromit films and Chicken Run. It's so British. Yes, I love Aardman. Aardman's great. I love I prefer their fully like actual claymation stuff over the CG stuff, but they have done a lot of that stuff. Flushed Away I grew up with. I love that movie still to this day. I think it's really funny. And they also did a Chicken Run movie just this last year. They also did Arthur Christmas, which I almost mentioned, but they just did a Chicken Run movie this last year in 2023. It's kind of like a decades after sequel, which is interesting. It's fine. I didn't love it or anything. It was enjoyable. Watched it with the kids. But Aardman's great. I've got the collection of Wallace and Gromit back there in the orange section. So I need to watch those again. I've only seen those through once. But yeah, Aardman's awesome. Everything's getting a musical. I'm not waiting for Internet user says, everything's getting musical. I'm now waiting for a Satan Tango musical. Well, usually musicals are like a lot longer than regular films. So the Satan Tango musical would be, well, maybe you just fill in all the silent scenes with musical numbers. That's what you do with Satan Tango musical. I don't need a musical for everything. Something just got a musical recently that I was very shocked by. I don't know. Everything's getting musicals. I love musicals, but I like original musicals. I don't need you to turn like normal movies into musicals. That's a little weird. Kevin House says, I watched Waitress, the musical, recently and thought it was pretty good. Yeah, someone mentioned that a couple weeks ago when that was coming out. That's pretty cool. Thanks for reminding me about that, because I wanted to check that one out. David says Walmart did the same Sunday delivery with the Marvels, one of the enjoyers of it. So he's a defender of the Marvels. I don't know if he's a defender, but he likes it. He enjoys it. And your Walmart is killing it, delivering things early. Luke says his favorite Best Picture winner is probably The Sound of Music. Yeah, that one's up there because it's not a movie I grew up with, but it's one of my wife's absolute favorite movies of all time. And she grew up with that, watching that with her grandmother, and she showed it to me, and it was really, really good. I've only seen it a couple times, but yeah, that's way up there for me too. David Albee says Road to El Dorado and Sinbad need 4K releases. I was so thankful for Prince of Egypt last year. Prince of Egypt 4K is awesome. I don't really need an El Dorado 4K. I have the Blu-ray back there, and that's probably good enough for me. I also have the Sinbad Blu-ray back there, so I don't need 4Ks of those, but that'd be awesome. I would appreciate it. David says the off-Broadway for Prince of Egypt is amazing. Wow. I didn't know about that. Apparently everyone knew about that but me. David says that and Hunchback could actually work to be adapted from the Broadway adaptation of the animated films. That's true. I mean, I think a lot of those have Disney adaptations on stage. Let's see. Michael Smith. Yeah, everyone chiming in. Go ahead and chime in on this question. My favorite Best Picture winner is also my favorite film of all time, The Deer Hunter. Now, that is not one that I've seen, but that's pretty cool. That's your favorite film of all time. I guess that worked out well. Luke says the creator of Aardman is from my hometown, so we have them at least. So we have that at least. We have a bunch with a bronze grommet. We have a bench with a bronze grommet sat reading a newspaper and a bronze Wallace in his wrong trousers falling over. That's awesome. Where do you live? That's really cool. I guess somewhere in the UK. That's awesome. Like I said, I love Aardman. My favorite Aardman would probably be, I guess Flushed Away, just because I grew up with that one. I know a lot of people's favorite is Chicken Run. That's the big iconic one that everybody loves. But Ethan Edwards says both Godfathers and Lawrence of Arabia are up there. Yes, they're both here as well. Number 50 and 52 are The Godfather and Godfather Part 2. And I also saw Lawrence of Arabia right there too, number 62. So this list is on Letterboxd. I'm sure there's a bunch of different ones, so I don't know if I'm looking at the one that everyone else is looking at. But yeah, that's Oppenheimer's number 1 right there. At the top, Evil Wax says, I love stop motion animated movies like Coraline. It takes so much time and effort to do a full length stop motion film. Yes, stop motion's awesome. I'm a huge stop motion fan. I just bought the Pied Piper stop motion film that Deaf Crocodile put out as a exclusive, and it's right over there. I'm a big fan of, what's his name, who did Alice and Faust. Oh man, so many names running through my head right now. But love his stuff. He has a super bizarre, creepy stop motion style that I highly recommend. If you haven't seen Alice from 1988, Jan Svankmajer, that is his name. Jan Svankmajer, he's a Czech filmmaker, and he does some really just beautiful and at the same time horrifying stop motion movies. I've only seen Alice and Faust. I wish there was like I wish his films were more readily available here in the States. I think there's like a DVD set, like an old DVD set I could get my hands on, but I wish Criterion would just do a Svankmajer box set already. Like, just go ahead and do it, Criterion. That'd be amazing. But I've loved the stuff I've seen of his. I really want to see Otik, My Little Otik, I think is what it's called. It's a weird, creepy story about a woman who's like raising a log as a baby. It's kind of like that Lamb movie that came out a couple years ago. But yeah, I think it's just a log. I don't know anything about it. I'm trying to not to learn too much about it because I do want to see that one soon. But Svankmajer's awesome. Who's another? Yeah, but you mentioned Leica. You mentioned Leica Studios with Coraline. I think my favorite Leica Studios is Kubo and the Two Strings, which is amazing. But I also like The Missing Link. Even Box Trolls is pretty good. And what's their 5th film? They have one more. It is Paranorman. So they just put out 4K Steelbooks for those last year, I think, for most of them. I don't think my Missing Link got one. That's the most recent film. Are they doing any new films? Because I would love a Leica Studios film, because it's been a while. Missing Link was like 3 or 4 years ago at this point. We need more Leica Studios films. We need more people doing stop motion in general, because it's amazing. Luke says, what movie do you think disappointed you the most due to the hype surrounding it? Inspired by Ethan's comment, as mine is probably The Godfathers. Probably Dazed and Confused. I think that's pretty safe to say, because I really didn't have a good time watching that, and everyone loves that. I'm on an island with that one. Everybody loves Dazed and Confused. But yeah, I'm sure there's others. Like, I don't usually listen to the hype that much, so I don't have that many great answers for that. But I guess if it's something like Criterion or something that I'm assuming I'm going to enjoy already, then yeah, those are the bigger ones. I'm trying to think. Maestro, like I said, last year wasn't that great, but I don't think I heard too much hype about it. I kind of heard the same thing where it was like, yeah, I don't know why this one's in the top 10 of the year. I'll say last year, I'm just having a lot of hot takes this year. Last year, All Quiet on the Western Front, I really didn't like. I feel like it completely missed the point of the book and wasn't really about what the book, and that's one of my favorite books. So I can be nitpicky when it comes to adaptations of novels. That's a problem I have and that I'm well aware of. But yeah, I wasn't crazy about All Quiet on the Western Front. What else? I'm sure there's something else. There's got to be. There's a bunch. This calls for another Letterboxd list. I don't think I'm going to make it though, because I don't want to I don't like ticking people off. I don't like talking bad about people's favorite things. That's not something I usually enjoy doing. I actually don't like talking about things I don't like, period. Like, I usually just like talking about things I do like, because there's not enough time to talk about things I really didn't enjoy. Motion one picture, my favorite Best Picture winner is probably Casablanca. It is the film that made me fall in love with cinema. That's also one of the very first black and white films I saw as well. David says Rebecca is his favorite Best Picture winner. I still need to check that one out. I've got the Criterion back there, but I still haven't seen it. Kevin says Casablanca also would have to be in my top 5 favorite Best Picture winners. Such a classic. Let's see. Oh, Evil Wax says, cool, I'll look him up. Thanks for the tip. Yes, Svankmajer. It's spelled, it's very hard to spell. Hopefully you can find him, but it's spelled like John Svankmajer, but it's Jan Svankmajer is, I believe, how you pronounce it. Let's see. Luke says, have you seen The Triplets of Belleville, DJ? It is an incredible animated French film that is mostly no dialogue, minus singing. It feels so nostalgic and surreal. I have not seen that, but I will be adding that to my watch list right now because I think I've heard of that, but I haven't seen it yet. There it is. That's a French film. I think I know the director of that. Let me see who that is. Ah, yes, it's the same director as The Illusionist. So The Illusionist is a film that I've got back there. It's based on a unused Jacques Tati script, but it looks like the same director did this Triplets movie. I'll have to check that one out because there's a lot of French animated movies. The French are still doing animation. There's also the Cat movie back there. A Cat in Paris, which is back there, which is also a Best Picture nominee. So the French animated movies are pretty high up on my list, but I'll have to check that one out. I haven't seen that one yet, but thank you and I love things that don't need a lot of dialogue to tell stories, because I'm a big silent film era person. That's what's great about Aardman, is they don't even use any dialogue. They did a show for Shaun the Sheep that has like 170 something episodes, and there's no speaking in any of it. It's insane. I don't know how they were able to come up with that many stories, but I really respect stuff. That's what Robot Dreams is. Apparently there's no dialogue in Robot Dreams either, which came out this last year. So I want to see that as well. I really respect visual storytelling. So thanks for the recommendation. Samuel Stevens, disappointed by the hype on Godfather Part 2. Big dip in quality from Part 1, says Samuel. David Albee says, biggest disappointment for me was probably Dead Poet Society. David Albee... David Albee says, no, make the list. We'll pay for the private Discord for the answer. Yeah. Some people, I mean, I don't like talking about things I don't like, but people like watching people talk about things they don't like. I don't know. People like drama. People like the drama. Bailey Welsh, Leica's upcoming film is Wildwood, based on the book by Colin Meloy, which is the first in a trilogy. I don't know how they are doing the film exactly with it being an adaptation, but they've announced the cast. Awesome. I didn't hear about that. Thanks for telling me about that. And a trilogy. That's really cool. They've never done anything like that before. So I'd love to know when that's coming out. Wildwood sounds interesting. Is it like a fantasy thing? That sounds really cool. I'm excited. Kevin House says, DJ, I'm on the island with you. Dazed and Confused. I didn't dislike it, but I was underwhelmed. Okay, well, there we go. I've heard from a couple people that were like, hey, thanks for thanks for speaking out, like I'm a survivor or something, because that's one of those movies that you can't say that you don't like it, because everyone will jump on you and attack you in the comments. But no, I mean, everyone has their things. They're not for everybody. No movie can be for everybody, except for Paddington 2, apparently. Samuel Stevens' Treasure of the Sierra Madre is the movie that made me fall in love with classic cinema. That's a great one. I love that movie. I still don't have it on Blu-ray. There's not a great release of it. I wish some boutique label would get a really cool release of that and release it soon, because I also love that one. That's a really good one. Michael Smith, Little Odic is bizarre. They had to be on acid or shrooms. That's just Jan Svankmajer, man. He is interesting. He's very crazy. You should watch Faust. Watch Alice, man. That's my favorite. That's my new favorite adaptation of Alice in Wonderland, because it's so bizarre and crazy. Your Fiend, Mr. Jones. Hey, I don't recognize the name. Welcome to the stream. Hey, everybody. Just got off work. I have recovered from both the Oscars and my Insane Crown purchases last week. Yes, that's another reason why I'm probably incoherent in today's episode, because I was up way too late last night watching the Oscars, even though it was over at like 10:30 our time, but we stayed and talked afterwards for a while. So I'm working off of about 6 hours of sleep, maybe less. So we're going to make it through this, and then I'm going to go crash upstairs. We're about an hour and a half, so we're going to wrap it up here pretty soon. If you have any final things to put in the chat, go ahead and throw them in there, and I'll tackle as many as I can here. Let's knock them out. Bailey says, I don't know if they will do the whole trilogy or what, and separately or combining the books somehow. I don't know. Okay, so the books are a part of a trilogy, and you just know that they're doing an adaptation. Okay, maybe they'll just do one film and kind of like pull from each book and do their own thing. But yeah, I don't know. Interesting. That sounds cool, though. Thanks for the information. Motion One Picture says, I love Shaun the Sheep. Watched the show all the time as a kid. And last year, I watched the 2 films. Loved the first one and enjoyed the second. Yeah, we have the show back there. I got it for my kids for Christmas. The entire Shaun the Sheep show is back there. They released a Blu-ray last year, which is really cool, from Shout Factory. And then we have the first movie, and the second movie is called Farmageddon, I think. It's like an alien invasion movie, and that's on Netflix. And we watched that just the other week, right after they watched the new Chicken Run movie. So my kids love Shaun the Sheep as well, so they've seen both films. I don't think I've seen either of the I've seen the first film, and I was in the room while they were watching the second one, but I think I had to work or do something else. But yeah, the show is amazing, and the Shaun the Sheep's great. It's like Wallace and Gromit, but it's a different dog and a different human, but it's kind of the same. They serve the same purpose in the story, but it's mostly about the sheeps. The sheeps, like that's how you say sheep plural. Ethan Edwards, I also love Charge of the Sierra Madre, maybe Bogart's best performance. He's so good in that. I guess I don't want to spoil it, but he's great. David says, I just enjoy people that aren't afraid of going against the grain and can still be respectful with their opinions, i.e. you. Oh, thank you. I appreciate the compliment. Yeah, I don't really care if I'm with the grain, but I don't like to be a downer. I don't like to be a party pooper and like everyone else is having fun. And that's how I felt about Oppenheimer last year. Like, I'm happy that everyone loves Oppenheimer. It wasn't really for me, but I don't want to talk about it because I want people to enjoy it. Watch Guy says Dead Poet Society was very good. Criticisms like Roger Ebert's were pretty bad. Ethan Edwards says the Warner release of Treasure is quite good. Yeah, I just need to go ahead and finally pick that one up. I've seen that one around on eBay. It's not too expensive. And Bailey says Wildwood seems right up your alley, DJ. I'm gonna have to check that out. You got me excited about that. Hopefully it's the next couple of years that it's coming out. I know their stuff takes a long time to put together. Let's see who else is here. Your friend Mr. Jones says I meant Criterion. What was he? Okay, I gotcha. So he said in my insane, it corrected it to Crown purchases, but he was talking about Criterion. So yes, so you got a lot of stuff in the flash sale. Let us know what you got. That's really cool. I wasn't able to partake in that one. I missed it, but hopefully in July I can make up for it. Let's see. Luke says it's been interesting on Twitter seeing everyone acting like Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone are their characters from La La Land in real life, but I'm here for it. I know nothing about celebrity gossip or Twitter, so I can't really add anything there, but that's interesting. Watch Guy says, by the way, thanks for the Criterion tip, DJ. Had a nice haul. Oh, what do you mean by tip? Did I tip you off that the flash sale was happening or something? I don't know what I did, but you're welcome. Bailey Walsh, sorry, say your name wrong every time. Bailey Walsh says, Wildwood is inspired by classic fantasy novels and folk tales. It's the story of 2 7th graders who are drawn into a hidden magical forest while trying to rescue a baby kidnapped by crows. That sounds amazing. I want to see that in stop motion animation. That's great. Thank you for that. Luke says, we used to watch Shaun the Sheep in primary school when it was raining at break times. Oh, that's really cool. David says, I came to the same conclusion concerning DPS as RE before knowing his opinion. I don't know what that means, but I'm guessing he's another YouTuber. Luke says, my favorite Bogart performance is between Casablanca and In a Lonely Place and The African Queen. Yeah, African Queen is great too. I've seen Casablanca. I haven't seen In a Lonely Place yet, but that's out. That's got a Criterion release. I need to finally check that one out. I need to get back to Criterion. I've been experimenting with so many other labels lately. I haven't been catching up on my Criterion releases. Evil Wax says, it's Leica, it's stop motion, and it's fantasy. Sign me up. I'm with you. I'm also excited about that one. Gus says, I disliked Oppenheimer. LOL. I didn't dislike it, but it just wasn't in my top 5 or 6. It wasn't in my top 10 of the year, which I know is insane to people, but yeah, to each their own, as they say. Haven of Horror is here. Hey, DJ, glad to see the channel doing well. Hey, thanks, John. That's my friend John from the other channel that I work on. All right, let's wrap this up before I completely lose my voice and have no voice tomorrow, because I do want to shoot that video tomorrow about that TerraVision release that I got. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for joining. Everybody is, thank you guys. That was a great chat. I was worried about this one because I got it up so late. But thank you guys for popping in, and had a great time chatting with you guys. Can't wait to do this again next week. This was a pretty crazy week. I wasn't expecting that much stuff to drop, because last week was kind of a real small week, but this week was pretty big. A lot of great stuff coming out. So let me know in the comments of the video which ones you guys are picking up, and we'll talk to you next week. Well, like I said, again, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when we shoot this. I'm sorry for you guys that are across the pond or over on the East Coast, because I know that's not the best time for you, but this is the latest I can go on Monday nights. But it's a good time. I enjoy doing it. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. But until next time, keep collecting, and I'll be back with another video real soon. Bye, guys.